own estate. Know if my pops will hear say, well done, like I like my steak.
Welcome back to another episode of the Off-Season Podcast. This is episode 33, and this is our official IHSA preseason football preview. Should we say preseason or just football
regular
season?
season?
Regular
Yeah, regular season. Yeah.
I am one of your hosts, Trayshawn Hall. I got my other host here, FA. OVA. I just found out his last name is pronounced OVA
Yeah.
after knowing him for so long. How you feeling, man? I'm so happy to be back, bro. I'm so happy.
Hey, we recording. By the time we recording this now, it's game week. You know what I mean? Monday,
Exactly.
game weeks. It's time, bro. We've been waiting. It's been a dead period for so long, and we finally in the swing of things. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, you know what's crazy? We were saying that like a couple days ago, right? And like as we were talking about like the media day competition and everything that was going on with the page like over the last couple weeks, we realized like, wait, we about to have an endless amount of content going for like the next 6 months now. Because
so
right now we got football. Right after football is gonna be basketball. So it's about to be the busiest time of like just content. You know what I mean? We just finished releasing all of the off-season summer camp tours. Go check out the Simeon episode. You haven't seen it yet.
so
We just did the Ruben Hippolyte, the second episode. That's gonna be out by the time this is released. So, but yeah, man, the season is back, bro. A lot has changed since last season.
for
A lot
sure,
has changed
a
since last
lot, a
season.
lot.
If y'all haven't known already, y'all can see the
Yep.
shirt. I am the director of social media for
First
the
ever.
Illinois High School
Include first
Association.
ever.
Oh yeah, I am the first ever
For sure.
director of social media for the
Let's
Illinois
clap
High
it
School
up for that.
Association.
Clap it up for that.
Yeah.
So
I'm pretty sure there's like functions in here that we could probably use, but I ain't finna try to figure it out right now. But yeah, man. It's I just started I got that whole interview process was like so different too. Like if people didn't realize or know, F is the one that actually sent me the application. Like I had no idea they was hiring. He saw it on their Twitter or X, I should say. He sent it to me saying he thought I'd be a good fit. I'm like, all right, let me just apply. I applied, went through the process, got selected for it back in June. And then I officially started August 4th. So I've only been in the road officially running the page for, was that 3 weeks now? But if you look at the page, if you follow IHSA underscore Illinois at on Instagram or whatever, you're gonna see all the different stuff that I've been doing. So keep following that as well. But
show, man.
right now we're on the
Off
off-season
season everywhere,
platform.
man. Off season everywhere.
That is very true, man. Hey, it's been a busy summer for us though. I know like we were just talking about how it's been a dead period, but it hasn't really seemed like it because of all of the stuff we've been doing. I know I mentioned the off-season summer camp tour, but a couple things that we also did was some commitment days with Nazir Rankin, Max
Vincent
Warner.
Smith.
Yeah, Vincent Smith from Sandberg, Max Warner from Whitney Young, and we was just been staying active. We got the media day competition going on right now.
Yeah, bro. Top 10 dropping tomorrow.
Top 10 dropping tomorrow for sure. We got to look through all of those votes.
Man.
But even that did way better than I had ever anticipated, bro. Because
Right.
when we did it, when we thought about it, you just hit me randomly like, hey, let's do a media day competition. Everybody keep collabing with us. Let's just do a media day competition.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
originally we had an amount that we was originally gonna pay, and then we were like, nah, let's just up it like a little bit more just
For sure.
because to get the people activated. But
Yeah,
people
and
was
it's
going
really
crazy,
yeah,
bro.
we definitely getting the turnout that I think we getting a
Yeah,
bigger turnout than we even expected, but
100%.
it's really was just to show love to the creators, you know what I mean? Like they're a heavy part into promoting the sports seasons and highlighting the athletes or whatever, and they sometimes they just don't get the recognition they deserve. So it's like let's just do two things. Let's provide a spotlight and give them an incentive to go out there and do the most creative media day shoot possible. So yeah, I'm glad as many people participated in the actual competition, and we want to keep building on this. This is definitely not the last time we do it. Like hopefully next year we can maybe get some sponsors involved, and we kind of double it up, maybe 500, maybe 1,000. You know what I mean? Just continue to raise that pot. To really give creators an incentive to go out there and just do the most creative shoots possible. So you know what I mean? I really love the shoots that we got, man. We got some crazy media days so far, so it's gonna be tough deciding who gonna win that 250. But
Hey,
I'm definitely glad.
who did that media shoot with the lightning? Was that
Clegg
Clegg?
visual Clegg. That was tough. Hey, I feel like just off top, that's one of the top pictures that I've seen, bro. Because you
Yeah,
can't really replicate that. You know what I mean?
okay.
Like that's a shot that only you could get at a specific moment. Like you know what I mean? So I think everybody else can pretty
Risking your
much.
life.
Yeah, bro. I think that was
Okay.
dope. Yeah, he definitely got one of the top shots I've seen just off the top of my head. But yeah, they it's been some crazy media days. I really enjoyed this for sure.
Yeah, the best part about it though is that we're not selecting it ourselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's being voted on by our followers, but also people the creators they're following as well, that people that's nominating them. So we did mention that we wanted to do something during the season as well.
Yeah.
We probably haven't outlined it yet, but something
Yeah, so
something could be happening
we
during the
yeah
season.
we want to
Media
we
competition.
essentially want to pay creators for the rest of the season. You know what I mean? And going into the other seasons, like giving creators an incentive to go out there and just really raising the standard of even capturing these moments. You know what I mean? Because some people may go out there and it's like, all right, I'm just out here, I'm just filming, I'm having fun. They may miss some shots, may miss some moments, but if it's a bag attached to it, like if somebody capture the best play or get the best picture, you really gonna be locked in to try to capture every single moment. So it's really just gonna bring the best out of videographers because some of these creators go to the games and they not getting paid. You know what I'm saying? They doing it for the love and they just trying to build their brand. So at the very least, they can win 50, $100 from us saying, hey, you capture the best moment, you could win, or you get the best picture, you could win. You know what I mean? So it's just an incentive to get creators out there and really raise that bar of creativity. Like that's the whole reason why we even do this, because we trying to push everything forward. Like everything is gonna be better because off season was here. You know what I mean? So yeah, I definitely love the participation for sure.
Yeah, hey man, shout out to the creators, man.
Shout
Shout
out to
out
the
to the creators.
creators, bro.
And one creator I definitely want to shout out is Patrick Coakley from Pork Visuals. He did
So
join the off-season
pork.
media team. He's gonna be working. We're gonna be working with him a lot this football season, and maybe all of the other seasons beyond that as well. So let's
Yeah,
clap it up for Pork real
yeah, for
quick,
sure,
Patrick.
pork.
Yeah,
One of
Patrick,
the best young talented creators out here. Like we
100%.
had to pick bro up.
Yeah, 100%. I'm glad he actually filled out the application too, and he was
Yeah,
interested as well. So
yeah,
I'm excited to work with him. Let's get
yep,
started into the season though, before we talk too long.
yeah, man.
Hey man, a lot of things, like we said, a lot of things has changed since last season. I know,
Hmm.
I'm the director of social media, but also in Illinois football, a lot of things that people were mad about last year was the amount of private schools winning state
Yeah.
championships. I believe the Chicago Catholic League had 5 state championship winners: Montini Catholic, Paul
Mhm.
College Prep, Loyola Academy, Mount Carmel, and am I missing one school?
Um,
Did I name
Mon-
5?
Montini, Mont Carmel, Loyola, DePaul College Prep, and
I'm missing one.
I don't know.
Regardless, it was 5 Chicago Catholic League winners last season.
Oh, Nazareth.
Oh, Nazareth, duh. Yeah,
Nas, bro.
Naz. Oh, they beat Joliet Catholic, and that was another
Exactly.
Catholic League
Yeah,
team. But
yeah,
so a lot of people were outraged about that last year, but this year there is a change in the classification system.
yeah.
What
I
you
don't
think
know how
about
much
that?
of I don't know how much of a difference it makes, to be completely honest, because what you gonna say?
I think it definitely is gonna well, I don't know how much less, but as far as Catholic League winners, it'll probably be less because you got Mount Carmel moving up from 7A to 8A. So it's going to be Mount Carmel and Loyola in the 8A class, but then also with Lincoln Way East and others. Then
Hmm.
you have Nazareth and Joliet Catholic moving up to 6A. I mean, they're already beating each other up in 5A, so
Yeah,
that really don't matter. But they're gonna have to see, the
Them
boys
boys.
down south, East St. Louis, bro.
East St. Louis,
Bro,
yeah.
East St. Louis is crazy. Let's talk about East St.
Big,
Louis for a second before we dive right back
hey,
into
the biggest
classification.
news, arguably the biggest news of the summer, Myson Johnson Cook returning to Illinois from powerhouse
Now,
DeSoto,
arguably,
Texas. What? Wait, what I
now
say?
arguably, that is the
You
biggest
said it's
news
the biggest
For
news?
Illinois football.
Yeah, yeah, I could agree. Yeah, I would agree. It's definitely the biggest news in Illinois football. But
100%.
yeah, Myson returning back to Illinois. He was at MacArthur, went to DeSoto, powerhouse in Texas. Now it's back in Illinois, at East St. Louis, powerhouse of Illinois football. So he's a 5-star running back. Every offer you could think of, 6'2", 220 pounds on the track. You know, he run 100 meters. He's running a sub 10.5 at 220 pounds. So it's like, bro, I mean, it's just a crazy athlete to get back in Illinois. But I'm glad he came back because we need those calibers. Like, we got some phenomenal athletes, don't get me wrong, but it just adds to that national exposure having somebody like him who was at DeSoto, that ran for almost 1,000 yards in Texas, and now he's coming back and
As a
all of that
sophomore.
as a sophomore. So bringing all that notoriety back and all that, that hype back to Illinois. Like, I love that move. And man, 6A, pack it up.
Pack it up.
Pack it up.
Like,
I know that
hear me.
Nas and JC is in 6A, but I don't know, bro. East St. Louis is different. I don't think it's gonna
and
make a difference.
and they're going to be battle tested. They're playing pretty much outside of their conference games. I don't think they're playing anybody in state outside of their
Nah,
conference games. I think
right.
they're playing all like nationally ranked teams.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, Max Press rated them as the 10th toughest schedule in the country of any team. So that should tell you everything that you need to know about East St. Louis. They not ducking no smoke. They want to play the best of the best, and they gonna feel the best team possible. Like, you know what I mean? So I definitely respect them and their journey. And I know that we'll see them back in the 6A state championship against who I keep on telling you I would love to see a Cary Grove East St. Louis championship just because I've never seen it in person. And that's kind of one of the more historic 6A battles that has happened consistently. And Cary Grove was the last team to beat East St. Louis in the state championship. So it's just like, you have some teams that just have your number and they could go out and they can compete with IMG, they can compete with Bergen Catholic, all of these top nationally ranked schools, but then come to, 6A in Illinois and then Cary Grove give them a run. So I would love to see that again, but definitely with JC and Nas, I'm thinking it's going to be somewhere along those lines of a Catholic versus East St. Louis in the 6A state final this year.
Probably 100%. Another thing that is crazy about that move from Myson is we made a video like back in March, bro.
Yeah.
Like back in March, we made a video, or you made the video actually. I'm thinking of your video actually.
Was my
Um,
video? Oh yeah, my video
your
was
video was
first.
first, and then my video
Okay.
came after. I think like probably sometime in May.
Yeah.
But your video came first, where you were like, imagine if he came back to
Lincoln Way,
Lincoln
Mont
Way, Mount
Carmel, East
Carmel,
St.
East St.
Louis.
Louis,
Yeah.
and look at it,
Bro,
whatever months
and
later he came back.
people in the comments like, bro, why would he come back from Texas? Why would he come back from DeSoto? And at the time, like, to be completely honest, like, I had no idea. I was just throwing it out there just because he was here and such a great player. Like, just imagine if he came back. You know what I mean? So it's just like for him to actually come back, it's like, whoa, bro. Like, I really wasn't expecting. I was just putting it out there, just hypothetical, but no real thought of it actually happening. So I'm like, oh, we got something.
Yeah, and then I made the video with the East St. Louis season preview. I was saying,
Yeah.
and I suspect, and not knowing who, but like
Right.
the good teams always
Always got somebody.
got somebody coming. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like how they get them is another discussion, but I just suspect, all the good teams stay good for a reason. They're doing the right
Yeah,
things, right? So
for
it's
sure.
like I just suspected it, and then literally what, probably a month and a half later, so yeah, a month and a half later, it got announced. Whatever way it got
Yeah,
announced, it got announced. Because
yeah.
I always wonder who broke that news first, because
Hey,
it was, because it was like the recruiting page collabed with us, right?
yeah, yeah,
And then we saw it like on the little the caption, it said that he was there, and then we're like, is he there, bro?
Yeah,
Like,
because
is he there?
the thing is we were getting comments. So like on those videos
Yeah,
that we made, it was people saying like he's back in Illinois, like he's at
yeah.
East St. Louis.
Oh, yeah,
And
that too.
I'm like, I don't know about that. Like I haven't seen none. He didn't post none. East St. Louis didn't post anything. So I'm just like, people always trolling and just talking in our comments. So I'm like,
Yeah,
all right, whatever. And they were releasing like highlight clips from summer camp, and I wasn't seeing them in it
see
or
it.
nothing. So I'm like, yeah, whatever. But then when that post happened, and then underneath it said 5-star out of East St. Louis. And I'm like, okay. And they collab with us and Myson. I'm like, yeah, I think that just confirmed it. And then we put it out, and then Slow J
Slow
put it
Shay
out,
put it
and then
out, and
Rivals
then
put it out, and
Rivals put
then
it out.
everyone, then on 24/7 they changed it. So yeah, man, it just kind of it kind of broke just like that in a
That's
sense.
what I'm saying. It was kind of like a crazy effect because, like you said, the recruiting page put it out, and they collabed with us. They collabed with Slow Shay. They collabed with him. I think they even
Mhm.
collabed. They may have even collabed with East St. Louis. No, I don't think they collabed with East St. Louis. But that's when we were like, all right, maybe it's time to put it out. And as soon as we put it out,
Yeah,
it was like, all right, everybody's putting it out
yeah,
now. I'm like,
yeah.
damn, dude, did that needle get pushed because of that one post from the
I
recruiting
think so.
page?
I think we were the first page to actually put it out as like he transferred. Like the page in the caption said he was there, but I think we're the first one to like make an announcement like breaking, like well, not really breaking, but breaking. He has transferred to East St. Louis and kind of put some, kind of some facts behind it. So yeah, I think we kind of broke the news, if you would say.
Yeah, that was cool though. But that was
Yeah,
by far the
yeah, that
that
was
was
the
the biggest
news.
news out of Illinois in the summer,
Yeah,
and him being a 5-star, recruit, instantly became the number one ranked player in his class in the
yeah.
state of Illinois.
I
So
actually,
it's like,
I think they may. I think composite he's one, but I think 24/7 actually has Quentin Burrell, the receiver from Mount
that makes
Carmel, as the
sense.
number one 2027 in
That's
Illinois.
debatable though. That's a good
Yeah,
debate to a conversation to have.
yeah,
Like,
it is. It is.
who is the true number one in that class? Like,
Eh,
some can debate that.
Man,
It's a good
it's just
debate. That's actually a good
yeah,
debate.
it's a debate. It's no way to like. It's no way to really know. Like, there's nothing. It's really subjective, to be completely honest. Like, because there's nothing you're gonna look at like, hey, this is what makes him better than, you know what I mean? So it's just somebody else's opinion, and the composite is just a little bit more like it pulls everybody else's opinion about it and ranking about it and kind of gives an average. So I mean, at the end of the day, all great ball players. Whether if you rank you a baller, like the stars and stuff go away once you get to the next level anyway. So all of it is just for ratings, but it don't really matter. But man, East
Yeah,
St.
what really
Louis.
matter is how you play on that field.
Yeah, bro. And I would, man, and then the crazy thing is, I would love to see, imagine East St. Louis being in 8A this year and what that would look like with all of those teams in 8A. That'll probably be one of the greatest playoffs that we ever see. But yeah, East
If
St.
you
Louis.
if it was East St. Louis last year, they win it
Yeah.
that. Now
Yeah.
this year, I don't know because I don't know fully what they have. I mean, obviously they
Mhm.
got a lot of returning players
Yeah.
as well. But Mount Carmel got a Mount Carmel squad as
Man,
far
Mount
as like the
Carmel
young
is,
talent that they
yeah.
have
They
on the
probably
defense
are.
and offensive side of the ball.
I mean, and it's really defense, to be completely honest. I mean, we mentioned Quentin at receiver, but you got Braden Jones, USC commit on a D line. You got Joey Quinn going to Vanderbilt. You got Caleb Tucker. You know what I mean? You got Claude. Like you got all of, man. You got Tavares Harrington, Rome. So you got all of these players. Like they are loaded. But the one question mark there is Jack Elliott, who's
The
replacing
quarterback
Jack
position.
Elliott. It's the quarterback. You know what I mean? And possibly Emmett Dowling, is gonna potentially start for Mont Carmel. And can he do what Jack Elliott did? Can he lead Mont Carmel like Jack Elliott did? We don't know. You know what I mean? So that's probably the biggest question mark there. But Mont Carmel is Mont Carmel. Like they'll always be Mont Carmel. Like so, yeah. That's just the one question mark that we all will potentially have is like who's gonna take those snaps.
Yeah, and I think that's the question mark for a couple teams, like even East St. Louis, that's a question mark for them. Like how they're the quarterback that's replacing Kendrick Lyons, how's he going to play? Or who's going to be the starting quarterback for Loyola? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
The only team that we're like, oh, they got it signed, sealed, and delivered at the quarterback position is Lincoln Way East because of
Mhm.
Jonas Williams returning, and then
Yeah.
also adding a weapon uh to his offense as well, to that offense as well. So
Yeah, adding a few weapons. So yeah, Lincoln Way East is also. another team that's coming back, and I think that this is their time to win. Like this is the year they need to win it because they're the only one with a returning quarterback, and not just any returning quarterback, the top returning quarterback in the whole state of Illinois, USC commit Jonas Williams. So if it's anybody seasoned and poised enough to do it, it will be him. Unlike the Mon Carmels of the world, unlike the Loyolas of the world, where they're going to have somebody in who hasn't done it yet, who hasn't been there, who hasn't been tested. Jonas Williams played Loyola in the semifinals, tough loss, came down to really one play, but he played like a quarterback that would lead them, and they could have won with him. You know what I'm saying? So, and,
100%.
and then hold on, what's the crazy stat? It was like they've won the last 100 regular season games or games period, and three of those losses were to Loyola or something like that.
Whatever it was, they won a bunch of games, and then a lot of their like majority of like their losses, I think it was in the playoffs or something. I can't remember exactly, was to that same
Yeah, I'm
team.
gonna say it was three of the five losses came to Loyola, and I think they beat Lincoln Way 2 or 3 times in the state championship. So yeah, just one of those teams
That's
that got
tough.
your number.
That's tough.
One
It's
of those
tough.
teams that
It's
got
so
your number.
tough, bro. It's so tough. And it's
Yeah.
like I was at that Lincoln Way East and Loyola game. Like we have the full game highlights on YouTube.
Mhm.
You should check it out. But being at that game, for one, that atmosphere, that was hands down by far, that was the state championship, if you ask me.
And that's
That
what we
was,
wanted. We wanted
yeah,
that in the state championship, but
yeah.
Loyola ended up being a 12 seed, which made them play each other in the semifinals, which I don't think it had to be that way. Come on now, put on the show, IHSA. Wait, my
Hey,
bad,
hey,
Trey. My bad,
relax,
my
relax,
bad,
relax, 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 relax right now.
my
No, I'm joking.
bad.
But
No, but yeah, we
but being
definitely want to see that.
yeah, but being at that game, bro, that game was everything you hoped it to be and more.
Yeah.
The ending of the game was a little anticlimactic, but in the sense of because Loyola played very good disciplined football. I think the one thing that I noticed about Loyola last year over any team, they were not the most skilled team. They were the most disciplined team. Like I even seen East St. Louis play last year against Loyola. By far, East St. Louis was the most skilled team on the field against anybody in the state of Illinois. They were the most skilled team, and it showed against Loyola week one. But even sometimes East St. Louis, with having their skill, they can be undisciplined and it can kind of cost them touchdowns and points. But they're so skilled and had like a crazy offense that they can just run it back up. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that was the way they played last year. But Loyola, though, they play very good, disciplined football. And that's the way they won a game against Lincoln Way East, is
Hmm.
because the jumping off sides. That all came down to being disciplined. They
Yeah.
kicked field goals. They was just chipping away and constantly like not losing their composure. Lincoln Way East got off to an early start with an early touchdown, like the first couple plays. I believe who was it, Talon White,
Yep.
that
Fallon White.
touchdown to him like
Yep.
early in the game. And
Receiver at
bro,
Indiana State right now.
bro, if you was there, if you was there and you saw that, like I was
Yeah.
like, oh, this is about to be
It's about to get
bad.
crazy.
Because they came back and scored another touchdown. And not East St. Louis, Loyola was just playing their game. They didn't lose their composure. They just started chipping away field goals. They turned into touchdowns, and then eventually they had the lead. And then, man, I really believe if Lincoln Way East would have gotten that ball back and they didn't jump off sides, hindsight is 2020, right?
Yeah.
But if you watch that series before and how quick they scored and that deep ball that Jonas threw to, I can't remember who he threw it to. I'm almost confident that they would have came back and scored and probably won that game.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call it, but hindsight is 2020, and all came down to the more disciplined team. And Lincoln Way East, not Lincoln Way East, Loyola was the more disciplined team that day, and that was the
Yeah.
game of the year. That was
Yeah.
100% by far the game of the year. And we've been to many games. We went to Mount Carmel, Loyola. We went to Morgan Park, Kenwood, Morgan Park, Simeon. We've been to all the games. You know what I mean? And that was by far the best game of the whole year. And then maybe a close second could be that Joliet Catholic versus Nazareth State
Yeah, that
Championship.
definitely was. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
live for sure. Yeah,
100%.
but yeah, bro. But I'm just excited to see what happens this year, how things unfold, because it's just so. I think this year is probably the most unpredictable in a sense because it's like those guys aren't returning, so we don't know. Like Loyola, for instance, Loyola has been dominating 8A. There are three state championships in a row, looking for a fourth one. Mont Carmel was also looking for a fourth one, not in 8A. They won three in 7A, but they'll still be going for four. So somebody won't get a fourth championship, but the teams just look so different other than Mount Carmel. Mount Carmel's returned a lot of guys, but the big piece that's missing is the Jack Elliott. But Loyola in the same way, Ryan Fitzgerald is gone, Donovan
Donovan
Robinson is
Robinson.
gone, Drew McPherson is gone.
Drew
Like
McPherson is a dog,
man,
bro.
killer, bro, killer.
Bro, he was so cold, bro.
Yeah, Brandon Loftus is gone. So they graduated an extremely talented class, man. Like they won, they won three state championships. So I mean, it's a lot of speculation around who they're gonna be returning, who's gonna step up, what guys are gonna be the next up. And but it's Loyola, kind of like Mount Carmel. You know that they're gonna have somebody. They're not just gonna have a down year where it's like, oh, they're down. Like, no, they're gonna have athletes. We just don't know about them yet. But I'm sure after week one, we're gonna be like, okay, this is Loyola. You know what I mean? So
100%.
yeah, I'm
But
interested to see how that plays out.
I'm excited to see how 8A plays out. Like you said, a lot of teams, Mount Carmel is the main team that I guess is that really matters that moved up to 8A. Let's get into the other classifications because I know 7A. One thing we was talking about a couple days ago was Batavia decided to stay in 7A and they could have opted to move down to 6A,
Well,
but they
I think.
decided
Well,
to
I
stay in
don't think it
7A.
was not necessarily opting into it, but they opted into just staying up so that there's no conversation. So at the end of the year, it was they were talking about how their enrollment is like got them on the border of 6A and 7A, and they'll have to have a discussion about whether it be 6 or 7A. And they're like, let's just take the discussion out. We stand up. We stand in 7A. We not going down. So yeah, but for me, in
Smart
my
move.
honest opinion, very smart move because essentially you would think moving up to or staying in 7A is more competitive, but I don't think so. I think 6A is actually the more competitive class than
I
7A,
agree.
at least this year, because you got JC and Naz in there and you got East St. Louis. I don't think going down would be going down in competition, at least for this year, with the teams that's in it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I definitely think their shot at winning is best in 7A. I mean, you got some more Catholic schools that moved up to 7A, but I think it's Batavia's the win. And one of the biggest stories about Batavia that I really want this reel to go viral when we talk about Batavia because it's something that athletes need to absolutely learn from. So Bodie Anderson played majority of the season, and we know Michael came in towards the end of the season and helped them really get to the state championship.
Last
So
season
go
you're talking
yeah,
about.
well, yeah, last season. I'm sorry, last season. So Bodie played majority of last season. Michael comes in and basically finishes the season off and gives them their run to get to the state championship
At
where they
quarterback.
fell to Mont Carmel, yep, at quarterback. So this year, obviously, there's a conversation around who's going to be starting for Batavia, who's going to be the starting quarterback. And I actually saw an interview of Bodie saying that, he basically made the decision to step down as the quarterback or just, not even compete for the position and change his position to wide receiver and play a little bit of defense because he felt like Michael could get the job done. He was the better choice for Batavia, and I think that bro, that's so honorable, that's so respectable. Like I just want to give a shout out to Bodie for that because not a lot of kids would think that way at such a young age. Like that, he's a winner, he's a leader. Like a college is gonna get him, a job is gonna get him, and he's gonna make that place better because he's willing to make the sacrifices for the team and he's not being selfish at all. And at that young of an age, for him to do that, I respect it because a lot of kids would be like, no, I'm competing for my spot. Or if I'm
Or
not the
think
starting
they're
quarterback,
entitled
I
to it.
quit. Yeah, they're going to quit or I'm going to transfer or whatever. They're not open to doing something different. He said, I'm going to change my position because this is going to put us in the best position to be successful. So I'm praying Batavia makes it just because of that simple fact alone. And that'll be a story of one of the biggest stories that we'll see after they win it is like the sacrifice one player made for the team. And he didn't have to do that. He could have handled it a whole nother way. He could just go through the season pouting, complaining, quitting. But no,
Try to
he's
transfer.
yeah, try to transfer in the climate that we're in now where one thing goes bad for these athletes and I'm out of here, I'm gone, I'm this, I'm that. No, respect to Bodie, respect to Batavia. I love that I saw that. Like that's one of the best things that I've seen this summer, second to Myson coming back to, Illinois. That's probably the second best story that I've heard this summer, to be completely honest. So shout out to you, Bodie, bro. That's a great move you did, man.
Yeah, speaking of Batavia in 7A, as we mentioned earlier, Mount Carmel's going up to 8A. Who do you think can challenge them in 7A? I mean, obviously there's good teams that we're not thinking of in 7A right now, right? But I mean, they probably got
I
a
think it's
very,
Batavius
very
to
good
lose.
team. Yeah, it's Batavius to lose for sure because
Yeah.
they were a solid team last year. I know I had picked them to beat Mont Carmel in the state championship. Yes, I was wrong.
Yeah, you was wrong
Yes,
about that.
I was wrong.
I'm never betting against MC, bro.
Yeah,
Never.
Rocco was giving me stuff about it. Draco was giving me stuff about it. I'm like,
Yeah, you
all right, yeah, I
crazy.
get it, I get it, I get it. Yes,
Yeah, no,
but
but yeah, I think it's theirs to lose. You know what I mean? Like they lost some key pieces,
Nathan
Nathan
Whitwell.
Whitwell, yeah, Isaiah Brown, at receiver. So they lost a few pieces, but I think for the most part they're returning, you know, a lot of their offensive and defensive players. So I like I said, I think it's theirs to lose. I'm not really considering anybody else in 7A but Batavia now that MC is out. So I think this theirs to lose, to be completely honest. No disrespect to any other programs that are in 7A.
But at the same time, if we're not talking about you, prove us wrong. We love to get
Absolutely.
proven wrong because you
Yeah.
give us something to talk about when we don't when something happens that we didn't expect. So
Yeah.
for the teams that we're not talking about, prove us wrong. Let's go down to 6A real quick. I know we talked about them earlier, but that's probably outside of 8A. I know we said 6A is potentially probably more competitive than 7A.
It definitely. I'm saying that is second to 8A. 6A is second to 8A this year with
And
those three
mainly
teams
because
gone.
those three
And
teams, East St.
and
Louis now,
and my sleeper team, Cremoni. Sleeper team. They're in 6A, and I
they're
think that
6A. Oh
they're
yeah.
Yep, I think they're gonna make a run this year. They've added to their offense. Jeremiah Stonewall, 3-star running back. They already had an explosive offense, and they did something last year that I and you know that they didn't get a lot of credit for. You know what I mean? Like Darren Couch and Dorian Patterson went completely crazy last year. I think Darren, he threw for 42 touchdowns, broke a school record. Dorian caught like 22, 23 touchdown receptions. He broke a school record. And I'm sure Darren probably nationally was probably a top 10 in touchdowns thrown, had to be, you know, but the stats weren't in max prep, so it was nothing to compare it to. But I mean, that type of performance, like that high power offense, like what they did was amazing. And it just wasn't even talked about. Like we found out from the Cree Athletic page, you know what I mean? It wasn't anybody even posting about it. And I believe we were the first ones to actually post about them doing it. And I was seeing comments like, finally, they're getting their recognition. And I think this is just a great time for us to segue into just speaking to the coaches and how important it is to kind of be okay with the transition that's happening. Because if you stay with this old school mentality and not understanding media and social media, it kind of hinders the athlete in a sense, because this is how we find out information. So it's like great that you know about it, but I think everybody needs to know about it. Media needs to know about it. Recruiters need to know about it. Colleges need to, like, everybody should know that your quarterback threw for 40 plus touchdowns last year. You know what I mean? So that could be the difference between him being rated on 24/7 or rivals or getting a scholarship. You know what I mean? Because I don't even think Darren has any big Division 1 offers right now, but I'm sure after they find out who he is, he'll get on the radar at least. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I just think it's super important for them to really like lock in this year as far as getting stats out, whether it's to us, Max Preps, wherever, so we can all find this information. But yeah, man, 6A, I think Crete is going to shock a lot of people adding a 3-star running back to that already dynamic offense.
Yeah, man, I'm excited about Creed. You know, Creed's always been good since we was in high school. You know, they had Laquan Treadwell my sophomore year. You
Yeah,
actually played faced off against them. I didn't, but
yeah,
they've always had good teams. I know. I just made a post about them on the IHSA page. Them losing to Cary Grove in the 2018 state championship. So
bro.
Creed has always been one of those South Suburban teams that's always been in that conversation in 6A as far as
Yeah,
great, you know, football programs. They've made at least 3 state championships since the last decade. So it's like maybe even more than that I'm missing. But
yeah,
I'm excited to
yeah.
see what they coming with this year. Another team is 6A that we loved. We already talked about the Nazareth, the Joliet Capitals, the East St. Louis. We don't need to talk about them again. But Richards was a team that we followed a lot last year. They
For
made it
sure.
to the semifinals, beating Dunlap in the first round. I don't remember who they played the second.
Kankakee.
Was Kankakee the second? Is the second round of quarterfinals?
Yeah, I believe was it
Dunlap was
Dunlap,
first
Kankakee,
round.
East St. Louis.
Dang, really? Is that the playoffs? First round,
Yeah,
quarterfinals,
yeah,
semifinal? Oh wow,
hmm
yeah.
yeah,
But yeah, so we followed, Richards a lot last year. They lost Miles Mitchell. But they are
man,
bringing back Jaden Henry. They are bringing back their quarterback.
yeah,
They did just bring in Sincere Harris.
yep,
But it's a lot of question marks on their team in the South suburbs. But they are also one of those teams that consistently from the South suburbs have consistently been in the conversation and made playoff runs.
yeah,
The last time they actually been to state, I think Hassan and Spencer and all of them were there the year after Crete went to the state championship and beat Cary Grove. So I think they played Batavia. I think, yeah, Richards played Batavia that year and lost, but they've always been, one of those teams in the south suburbs that's in the conversation of making a playoff run for sure.
for sure. Yeah, and they lost a big piece, man. Like Miles Mitchell, he carried a lot of the offensive and defensive load, man.
He
He
was their
had
offense last year. I ain't
bro.
gonna lie.
But defensively, like that, one of the best plays that we saw last year in when they faced off against Dunlap was that game stealing interception. You know what I mean? So it wasn't just offense, like defense. He made an impact on even special teams. You talked about you went to Crete last year to open the season, and you know what I mean? Like he
I
special
forgot
teams
about that.
returners. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So yeah, Miles Mitchell played literally every part, and now at North Dakota State University. Hope to see him get some touches as a true freshman. But yeah, they got it's gonna be a lot replacing what Miles Mitchell did. Like he was a big part in them going on that run and eventually falling to East St. Louis, which I mean that's gonna be the team that's gonna keep you out of the state championship in 6A 100% of the time. So
It's probably two plays from last season that I would say is probably the play of the year. And to me, that interception that he made against Dunlap to end the game in the first round of the playoffs, to me, that was the player of the year. As far as what
yeah,
we saw, the
yeah,
other play that I can nominate is that stop at the goal line by Nazareth to stop
hmm
Joliet Catholic from tying the game in overtime. Would it tied the game? But that would have put them ahead the 2 point conversion. Anywho, I think that stop as well was probably one of the top plays. But Richards, man, I'm excited to see what they got coming this year. We love our SSC boys.
for
I'm hoping
sure.
other teams coming out of the SSC, is good as well. I
Shout
know
out
Hillcrest.
South.
Shout
The
out
new
South. Yep.
Coach Jensen is there,
Yep.
new head coach. So love to see what they do this season, and looking forward to their rebuild. Shout out Coach Pigs, TF North. I know
Yes,
it's that
sir.
North South rivalry, but we kind of like meshed it together, kind of because we just got love for both sides now. We being South guys, and it's the North rivalry. But at the end of the day, man, our relationship with both coaches and players, we kind of it's kind of like neutral now. You know what I mean? I got a TF North shirt. You'll never
Ooh.
see me wear it though on
Hey,
cam.
hey,
Wait.
I'll be honest. I'll be honest. When Pigs gave us that shirt during that interview, I did not put that on. Bro, I gave that to Dave. I gave because
Mm,
Dave went to TF North. I was like,
yeah,
bro, I got this shirt from Pigs. I can't wear this, bro. Like, I'll be
man.
honest. Like, I just you wore it in the episode,
I
but I
wore it
was
in the
like, bro,
episode. Yeah,
I just I
bro.
just couldn't wear it, bro. Like, I couldn't find it in me. I just couldn't find it in me. And I know, like, I feel differently about the rivalry now being out of high
Mhm.
school, but at the same time, the very last play, one of the very last plays of my high school career was me trying to go, like, at least playing North, was me trying to have a saving touchdown that I missed against TF North when we lost the game. And I think the
Mm.
quarterback passed away since then, RP to him. But it's something about me. I just can't, something about me still a little bit feels it, a little
Yeah.
bit. But,
Yeah, well, you know how I feel about it. Like after, getting out of high school and kind of learning more about the history of the
yeah.
rivalry and how things were at a certain point in time, it's kind of like, man, I'm
Oh,
off that
yeah.
rivalry stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just a bigger picture out there, which, a lot of people will understand or they won't understand, but it's just a bigger picture and I could care less about the rivalry. Like we both not where we need to be, from a school standpoint, academic standpoint, athletic standpoint. Like I kind of feel like, even with the soccer team, I know we kind of getting off into this, but the soccer team is TF United. And I always say, like, man, imagine because I think it was another school. Was it like Bloom and Bloom Trail? They kind of combined for their sports or something like that. I believe Bloom and Bloom
Rich
Trail
Township
does.
combined, I know.
Yeah, but essentially, yeah, like I just think
Bloom probably combined
I
as
think
well,
it's
I think.
Bloom and Bloom Township. They both of their players they play together under one team. But no, essentially, what I'm getting to is that, like, man, just learning about the players from North, because we actually established a relationship with some of those guys from North, the football players, and then of course we got a relationship with the players from South. And when you step out of the rivalry and the game, you realize that they're all the same, and they all suffer from the same problems. They all need the same type of help. So it's like, man, I'm helping both sides, and I want to see both sides win, because guess what? We all win if they both ball. Like, imagine if TF North and TF South are at the top of the conference. Now the rivalry means something. But if they're both bad, what good is two bad teams mad at each other for? You know what I'm saying? It just don't make sense. So I would like both of those teams to be the best in the South Suburban Conference. And now, because we talked about how, like, when we played, the games was packed. Like basketball, football, like people cared about the rivalry. It felt like a rivalry. We went to basketball, TF North, TF South, and football, and it was trash. It was
It
just like
was
any other
different,
game.
bro. I
It was
was
like any other
so
game.
disappointed. I
Yeah.
was like, no, what's going on here? But
Yeah.
then again, I thought it was just the effects of COVID because like last year was the last football season was the first season we fully covered, right? And that was
Yeah.
when we were actually getting out to the games. And I've been to different types of games, right? Like I've been to some games it was just wasn't packed, right? But certain games you just expect to always be packed. TF South versus TF North is one of those games, whether it's football, basketball, whatever. And it's just, I mean, it eventually did get to a point where it was a lot of people, I guess, but it was
It
still
just, yeah,
different,
yeah,
bro.
it
It
was
didn't
different.
feel
It's
the
not
same.
there.
Like,
It wasn't all the way there. It wasn't as hype as it could have been, as I remember it. Like, I remember it being like a thing, bro. Like, it was crazy. But it is what it is. You know what I mean? I think it's just gonna come with both teams being at the top of their game, is what I'm saying. Like, if both teams are playoff teams competing for a conference championship, I think that just makes the rivalry mean a little bit more. And then, us, contributing from the media side, pushing it, putting out, hype videos or graphics or whatever, just to, increase the attention around the game. I think it all adds into contributing to making it a big thing again. So yeah, I think it's just gonna take time. And obviously, South is going through a rebuild. North is building up; they're trending upwards. Pigs has had them consistent and getting better over the last 3 or 4 years. So yeah, I just think they both need to get to a certain place for the rivalry to make sense.
100%. Going down to 5A real quick, just to go back to the classes. I know Morgan Park is in 5A. They was in
Yeah,
5A last year. They were the number one seed in 5A last year. They
I
got a
believe
lot of.
Montini is in 5A as well
Did
now.
Montini move up from 4A to 5A?
From 4A to 5A, so defended
That'd be
4A
nice.
state championships. Montini, shout out Israel Abrams, one of the top quarterbacks in the
Mhm.
in the state of Illinois. Had a phenomenal state championship game. Yeah, I mean Morgan Park. That's another one of those teams with a quarterback situation. Like, man, I think we got to look back and check the class from last year as far as quarterbacks and where they ranked, where the top quarterback classes in Illinois, because man, it was some ballers. At quarterback last year. But yeah, they lost Marcus Staxton, who, with my own eyes, is one of the most talented arm talents that I've seen in person. You know what I mean? Like, Marcus has been around. I talk about Morgan Park, how they used to come to our workouts when off season was just football training, and he'll come out to the South. And man, bro, seeing him throw was like he got it on the string. His mechanics look good. Like he was just a pure arm talent, and it showed at Morgan Park. You know what I mean? Every year.
Yeah,
So
we got the
now,
highlights of it too.
yeah, yeah. So now Morgan Park is looking to fill that role as well, with younger quarterbacks. So I think a lot of their success this year is going to come from behind who's taking the snaps and how efficient they can be. But I think they just got so many athletes that that they'll figure out a way to win.
Yeah, I mean, and they got great coaching too, right? Coach Reem is going to
Sure.
be in his first year as officially as the defensive coordinator. You already know they got Coach CJ and they got Nazir Rankin, the
Yep.
first
Yep.
four-star athlete committed to Illinois. Definitely excited to see how he's going to produce this year. When you got a guy like that, you know, you can worry, filling the quarterback position and everything, but when you have a guy like that, you kind of like, all right,
You can just put the ball in his hands. What I
yeah, you
always
got to
say,
figure out when they put
put
the
the
ball in
ball
his
in his
hands.
hands. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Don't make it difficult. Put the ball in
yeah.
his hands and let him be an athlete. But yeah, so Yeah, Morgan Park is interesting, and for them, one of the games that we looking forward to is Whitney Young. You know, I
Yeah,
call
week
that the
4.
real CPS Red Conference Championship because they both went undefeated in conference last year, didn't get a chance to play each other. They're both come returning and they have the talent, and I think that's going to be a pretty big game. Like I think that's going to be the biggest game in Chicago Public League this year, just because like I said, both two undefeated teams, and now if both of them stay undefeated up until week 4, it'll make for a better matchup, at least in the Chicago Public League. So if after these two non-conference games they play two games, like the win that game and then go into the 4th week, I think it'll be some momentum there, especially with Morgan Park. If they can pull off beating Downers Grove, North, and Naz to open the season and then go into conference play, it's gonna look really, really, really scary. So
Yeah.
yeah, I just hope both of those teams by week 4 is not too much damage done from losses that it kind of takes away the steam. Like, it's not really, what it could have been last year when they both were undefeated. So
Yeah, that's one thing we mentioned when we made a couple videos with Morgan Park on the off-season tour and season preview. They will be battle tested for sure.
yeah, for sure.
Starting off the season with Downers Grove North and Nazareth. What? Like two
Yeah.
teams that Nazareth won the state championship in 5A,
Mhm.
but Downers Grove North made a deep playoff run last year
Yeah, I
too,
believe
right?
they
So
lost to Batavia.
yeah, which is a team that made it to state, and they arguably could have won state if they didn't get off to a slow start against Mount Carmel. So it's like
Yep.
playing those type of caliber teams early on. I mean, that's what you should be doing though. Like
Yeah, for
those
sure.
two games really,
It don't
I'm not gonna
matter.
say it don't matter,
I
but it
mean,
don't matter.
but it matters in the sense of like you want it to be meaningful to your
Yeah,
progress during the season. So it's like if you
exactly.
go out there and you just play anybody and win 50-0, it don't really do you much justice, especially if you don't have a strong conference. Like some teams have a strong conference where you're gonna play 3 or 4 good teams in the season, but some teams are the best team in their conference and they won't play a good team until playoffs. But by that time, it's too late. So better to just have. I'd rather be 0-2 going into the conference play and we played some killers and now we battle tested and we went out and we finished the season that way versus playing somebody that's not up to our competition and we blow them out just to say we're 2-0. You know what I mean? It probably doesn't do you much benefit in the long run. So I love the move by Morgan Park. They definitely not ducking. They're not
Yeah.
ducking at all.
One thing I want to mention because we were talking about Whitney Young as well. Definitely excited about that game, but their media day shoot was actually pretty nice. Did you see that
Fire.
collab
Yeah,
photo?
yeah,
That
fire.
was low key fire. You had
Fire.
Max Warner with the violin,
Yeah,
and then he's in
yeah,
the
yeah.
crowd like he's like
Oh, the
in the theater room. Like
yeah,
that was one of the top
that
ones
was
too to
yeah,
me.
yeah.
That was nice.
We gonna
And
have
then they
to
got new uniforms too. It looks
yeah, I
like
saw that. Yeah, they
that was
they
icy.
collabed with us. Yeah, it was that orange, that all the like color rush, all
Yeah,
orange, all white. Yeah, but
yeah.
yeah, for sure. Yeah,
I'm
we got to
excited,
go through those media days tonight, bro. Like it's bro. Even when we posted, I think within a couple hours, it was like 100
bro.
submissions. I'm like, oh, we gonna have to take some time with this one. So
Yeah, we got to tally out the different type of
yeah,
people. So we're gonna get
yeah,
through it though.
for sure.
Somebody even messages like when we get an announcement, I'm like, damn, bro.
Yeah, it's the top 10 dropping tomorrow.
Yeah. But another obviously Morgan Park's going to be playing Kenwood and Simeon actually back to back this year. They're
Yeah,
playing Kenwood week 8, and then they're closing out with Simeon again this year with the Battle of Vincennes week
perfect,
9.
perfect way to close it out.
So we didn't get a chance to see Kenwood this summer,
No.
but we did get a chance to see Simeon. And I'll be honest, I like what I saw from Simeon.
Mhm.
They got a lot of transfers. They got AJ Kroom that transferred from Kenwood last year.
Yep.
They got Mikael Blade that transferred from Hillcrest last year.
Yep.
D1 caliber edge, committed to
Yeah,
Michigan,
Michigan.
4-star.
Yep.
They
Lavelle Smith,
yes,
running back,
Lavelle
man. That
Smith
man
running
run
people over.
hard, bro. Like that's
Yeah,
yeah, for sure.
receivers. But like I'm excited. Like and we obviously we went to their practice. They held week practice, summer camp, and intensity was high. Then we also went to Hillcrest's quad scrimmage where we saw them compete against other teams like Rich Township, Shepherd, and Hillcrest, and I thought they fared pretty well. I mean, obviously, the quad scrimmage like that early in the summer, there's some things you got to tighten up, but
Yeah.
overall, for their first challenge, I thought it looked good.
Yeah,
And I was even telling you a couple days ago when I was finishing up the Simeon video, I was like, "I- they actually look pretty solid,
for
bro. Like,
sure.
you know what I mean? But obviously that's early too, so you can only really tell when the season starts.
Hmm.
But I'm excited to see that matchup. I think it will
Yeah,
be a better matchup for the Battle of Vincennes against Morgan Park than it was last year. I really do. Like I truly do because I saw them play last year.
Mhm.
It didn't look good, and I know there's a video that constantly gets repost. I'm sorry, it's me. I'm the one that constantly reposted, and I'm the one that added a little color commentary to it. I'm sorry, but that like it didn't look good last year. Is all
Yeah,
I'm
no,
saying.
it didn't. It didn't.
It did
But
not look
yeah,
good.
yeah. But now, we gonna see what happens this year.
100%. Um, yeah, we definitely gonna see what happens this year. A couple other things that I want to talk about. You mentioned you put actually a stat in here that Jonas Williams is currently number 5 on the Illinois High School Association's career list with 8,859 passing yards, and he's number 6 on the passing TD list with 112.
Yeah, bro.
That's
Crazy,
insane.
crazy, bro.
We got
Crazy.
to
And
look
I,
that up on the Illinois High School Association page to see
yeah,
how much he needs to break those, like to
yeah,
break the records or something. Because he could
yeah.
potentially be breaking some records this year.
Potentially, and that'd be the best way to cap off, his career, breaking those records and winning the state championship. Like I think that, like I said, that team, that Lincoln Way team, I think they're geared to winning it. Like they have a seasoned quarterback, which is all the good teams who were good last year don't. You know what I mean? No, nobody like Jonas, so I feel like offensively they have everything that they need to win it this year. They literally have everything. There's no excuses.
Yeah, the one thing I would say, and I watched a lot of high school football last year. I watched more high school football last year than in my lifetime. And one thing that I can say that stood out to me, like his playing style, he actually genuinely reads defenses.
Yeah.
Like I would see him like read somebody off and be like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna throw it this way." Like I'm like he's actually like reading defenses like he's already in college. Like I've
Yeah.
seen that with my own eyes. So imagine being like in that caliber of a player like that last year in your junior season. I can't wait to see what he's gonna do in his senior season.
I think it's gonna be easy. You know what I mean?
You think
And I
so?
say that respectfully, just because he's prepared to do that. Like the game is slowed down enough for him, and he's put enough work into his craft where it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? He has the weapons, so you're not gonna stop him from throwing the ball, and you're not gonna stop the receivers from getting open. Like he's such a talented quarterback that he's gonna, like you said, he's gonna find his reads. He's gonna go through his progressions. You know what I mean? So it's just different than having a quarterback out there that's just predicting where he's gonna throw the ball. When you have a quarterback that's actually reading the defenses and identifying the coverages and the shells and what I'm saying, who's blitzing and everything, like that's what he does. But that's what a Division 1 quarterback is. You know what I mean?
Student of
So
the game.
true student of the game, bro. So yeah, I think he's gonna go off. Like he's poised to go off. Like I don't expect anything less than dominance from Jonas this football season. And I mean, just in the conference he's playing in, I don't think it's going to be anybody that's going to be able to stop what Lincoln Way East wants to do. The only people that are going to stop Lincoln Way East is the teams that are going to come in the playoffs, late in the playoffs.
I'm interested to see what how Carl Sandburg matches up against them.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
they like we seen that was a team that we also saw during the summer camp tour, and they look pretty solid. I like the organization. We didn't get to see them compete against anybody, but I did
right.
like the structure of their as far as structure goes. All of the summer camp tours, I
Yeah,
would say they probably had the best structure as
mm,
far as the teams that we saw. I'm not saying they have the best structure in the state of Illinois,
right.
but as far as what we saw, I thought it was pretty damn organized, and they were in the classroom. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like we talk about the mental aspect of the game. That was something they was harping on the whole time. You know what I mean?
mhm,
Definitely the mental aspect.
for
So
sure.
I think they played. They're in the same conference, right?
I believe so.
Do they
I
play
believe so.
each other? We have to
I
check
don't know.
that
I
out.
have to
But
check. Yeah,
yeah, but definitely excited to see how they would match up against them. A couple things we want to talk about as well. There are some Indiana and Illinois matchups for Illinois week 1 matchups. Indiana started last week, so it'll technically
yeah.
be week 2 for them. But we got Loyola versus Maryville. What? Why do
Yo,
we have Loyola? Here's my thing.
yo,
It's like
yo,
that is the most
yo.
like Morgan Park
Indiana.
versus Maryville. That would make more sense. But Loyola versus Maryville, Valparaiso versus Brother Rice. These I You know what's crazy? Last year, I think we made a post after the football season of fantasy matchups, right? And I think we put like a Crown Point versus a East St. Louis or Maryville versus Morgan Park or
Yep.
whatever. And because we were like, we could. ideally these matchups will probably never happen, right? But we was thinking like it'd be cool if these matchups happen. And oddly, in a weird way, we kind of got some. I don't know what to call it, fantasy matchups.
Yeah, yeah, it wouldn't be my
But
pick of fantasy matchups, but we did get something along those lines, and that's dope. Like I love that, and I hope maybe for next year, the next 2 years, we maybe see a little bit more of that. Like you said, we mentioned Morgan Park and Maryville, Crown Point, East St. Louis. Like I like to see the battle of the borders and just different schools. Like let's play out the state a little bit. We don't have to go super far across the country, but maybe we go play in Wisconsin, we go play in Michigan, we go play in Indiana. Like just some of the the bordering states and just see some different matchups, see some things that we haven't seen before. But with that being said, Indiana, pack that shit up. Pack it up. I'm sorry, pack it up. It's a different game. It's a different game over here, especially and you ain't messing with just anybody. You messing with Loyola, you messing with Brother Rice, some of the top Catholic schools
team
in Illinois. So I mean, you playing a
top
dangerous
definitely
game.
the top football conference in Illinois for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, for sure.
Chicago Catholic League, yeah.
Yeah,
So
but I love it though. Hey, prove us wrong. You know what I'm saying? Maryville, I know a lot of Maryville guys follow us, and they probably not gonna like what we saying right now. But hey, you're gonna have to prove us wrong, and we will happily on Sunday. We will happily get on our podcast and apologize for our disrespect. But I
I'm gonna
don't think
just
that's
say
gonna
this.
happen.
I'm gonna just say this. We used to cover. We covered a decent. We covered
A decent amount.
a decent
Decent
amount of
amount.
Indiana games last year, right? The main one
Yeah.
I'm thinking of is Crown Point versus Maryville,
Yeah.
and it was a very lopsided game. And I seen Loyola. Loyola is probably the team I saw play the most last year. Pack it up.
Yeah, bro.
Pack it up. Now, Brother
Yeah.
Rice Valpo, that may be a more, but then again, at the same time, probably not.
We gonna
Like I only
see.
saw one Brother Rice game last year. And it wasn't a high scoring game at all. But
It was a Fenwick, Brother Rice Fenwick.
yeah, Brother Rice Fenwick, and it wasn't a high scoring game at all. But at the same time, man, like it's they're playing the best. Like think about it like this: the one thing that the Catholic League was doing to each other last year was beating up on each other.
Yeah.
Like they were all beating each other. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? I think what did Nazareth get blown out by Mount Carmel, but then blew out St. Rito
Yeah,
or
same.
whatever the
Yeah, it
crazy
was
thing
something
is. St.
like that. It
Francis
was some.
lost to a certain team
Yeah,
and
it was something
beat
like
another
that.
team. Loyola lost to Brother Rice or something. Like whatever it
Brother
was,
Rice
like it's
beat
like
Mount Carmel.
yeah, or whatever it was. Yeah, Brother Rice
Yeah.
beat Mount Carmel is what I'm thinking of. So it's like
Hmm.
that's one thing the Catholic League teams do is like they play each other and they beat up on each other, and any of them can win on any given day. They playing these love Northwest Indiana, love the 219, but
For sure. Shout out
it's
Morden.
just
Shout out
different.
Coach Mac. Shout out
It's just
our
different.
guys in Northwest Indiana. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a long, long weekend for y'all coming playing. These Chicago Catholic schools. I mean, play with something safe, man. It's dangerous.
Yeah. All right. Hey, so we're approaching the hour. I don't know if we have too much more to talk about. Do we want to get into some predictions or do we want to leave that for another episode? We
I
can
think
probably say
we,
that for
yeah, we can save that. We
say
can
that for
save that.
another episode.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
yeah, man. Like I said, going back to the media day competitions, we will be starting to count those votes. We're gonna have the top 10 release. Well, by the time this video comes out, top 10 should probably already be out.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, I can't wait for the Illinois high school football season to begin. I can't believe we're here again. You know how crazy this is gonna go? Because last year we did a preseason game. We did a preseason preview or whatever season
Yeah,
preview show. Then we did a mid-season show. Then we did a pre-playoff show. Then we did a post-playoff show, and that went like clockwork.
for sure.
I really feel like it's gonna be the same way this year.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
right now we're talking about, oh, it's the start of the football season. Next thing you know, we're gonna be midway through the season, and then you got
Getting ready for
we talk about
basketball.
playoffs and getting ready for basketball. Ooh,
Yeah,
basketball. Ooh, we'll wait.
yeah.
It's one
Basketball.
thing.
Let's wait.
It's one thing we definitely could talk about
Yeah, for sure.
with
Yeah,
basketball,
we'll
but we'll
say
wait.
that
This is
one
the football preview. So
for sure.
thank y'all for tuning in. Keep following the off season podcast. We actually gonna be more consistent now that we're remote. Um and we're gonna keep coming with episodes every week. Maybe definitely gonna come with rankings and everything like that. Stay tuned for the Media Day competition selection. Stay tuned for all of the IHSA content coming
For
with the
sure.
Friday Night Five and things like that. I'm gonna turn the Illinois High School Association up.
Sure.
But stay tuned, stay rocking with us. We appreciate y'all. I know we've been going for a long time, and well, the episode y'all probably see is the Ruben Hippolyte before this one, but we're getting back into the swing of things, man. It's podcast season, it's football season, it's a bunch of
For
content
sure. For
coming out.
sure.
Shout out the Bears, Daw Bears. Shout out them.
Tyson Beige in 2020. No, sorry.
You knew what you was doing with that post. And
Bro,
you
I
know
don't
it pretty well.
know.
Yeah, but this is the off-season podcast, episode 33.
So
We out.
33. Hey, wait, one more thing I want to say. I
Go
want to
ahead.
close it out with this, a message to everybody this year. The season is opening this week, all right? Everybody needs a ball, bro. Like that's just what it is. Everybody, we need to create a higher standard for football in the state of Illinois. And this comes from creators and athletes and coaches. Like, it's gonna be a lot of y'all DMing us, like, hey, can you come to this game? Hey, why you not supporting us? Why you ain't coming to film? You gotta earn the coverage. Like that's the motto for this year for the season. Earn the coverage, earn your coverage, bro. If you do enough this year, we gonna hear about it and we gonna come see you and we gonna highlight you in some type of way. You know what I mean? But if everybody is balling, then the whole state is winning. We want Florida to hear about it. We want California to hear about it. Like, we don't have no favorites in this. We don't have. We're for the state of Illinois. You know what I mean? So if you play football in the state of Illinois, we for you. We might say you're gonna lose this week. We might say a team is ranked better than you, but that don't mean we don't like you. That don't mean we got something against you. You know what I mean? Our job is to be as objective as possible in everything that we do. So just my message to everybody, like, go out there and throw for 1,000 yards, rush for 1,000 yards, make big hits, one-handed catches, do everything you could possibly do to highlight Illinois football and how we get down over here. So yeah, man, that's just my message, man. Everybody ball. If everybody balling, the whole state winning.
And like I said, we always like to be proved wrong. We always like to say, we always like to be pointing in the right direction.
For sure.
I think the team that did it perfectly last year for us was Shepherd. So
Yeah.
we pulled up on them, and they had a great. They had a pretty much a pretty solid season last year. They had 2 losses, I believe. So,
Yeah.
yeah, man, ball. We'll
Let's
come out
go.
to the games.
Let's do it. It's
Can't
that
wait.
time, man.
And another thing, I want to say this: stay focused. Don't
Yeah.
like, bro. At the end of the day, like, what really truly matters is how you ball on the field. All of the stuff that we do, us talking about it and everything, us making predictions, none of that really matters.
Don't mean
It really
shit.
doesn't.
And
It
that's
doesn't.
coming from
It's
the
just
people doing
opinion.
it.
The rankings or whatever. One thing we learned going into the space, whatever who's ranked on whatever's top 10 in the state or whatever, none of that really matters.
None
It
of it.
really doesn't.
None of it.
It all matters on how you perform on that field. If you're paying attention to the rankings and getting mad and upset about a ranking and not turning it into like a drive to do better, then what's it all really for, man? Like, you should have something that makes you want to prove the naysayers wrong every time you step into practice, every time you step on the field, every time you go ahead and head in that play or whatever. Like, you should always have that drive in you to want to essentially dominate the opponent that's in front of you. So don't all everything else is just entertainment and
That's all it is.
BS and is this and BS this and BS that. Like, don't worry about none of that. But stay locked in, stay focused. Don't let the trolling get out of hand. Don't let the trollers get into your head. Don't like all of that goofy stuff, the barstool pages, the real estate agents or whatever, when they talking stuff in the comments. None of that matters. The
Nope.
only thing that matters is how you perform in between those dotted lines on the field. It's the only thing that matters. And at the end of the day, if you end up with a state championship at the end of the season, everything else doesn't matter.
Sure.
So, everybody ball out this season.
Oh,
This is the off-season podcast, episode 33. We'll be back again next week to recap the first week of the Illinois high school football season. We'll keep it rocking
man.
from there, baby. We're gonna
For
keep it rocking
sure.
from
So
there.
tune in, subscribe to our YouTube, follow us, share everything. Like, we really want to turn the season up for y'all this year.
100%. But this is the off-season podcast, episode 33, and we are officially out this time. Peace.